Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Thank you very much for your watching. As you know, on this channel, we have this thing we call our expert series where we talk to multimillionaires 6 days a week just for you. And on Tuesdays, we are lucky enough to have two of them. How you doing today, Omar?
Pretty good, Michael. How are you? What's up, everybody?
Man, I'm doing great. You are my real estate entrepreneur. You are the one that can take a lead and find the best way to disposition it. So I just love our weekly discussions. Thank you very much for giving us an hour.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I love it.
Hey, one of the things I wanted to talk about is I was asked to do a reaction video on another YouTube channel. Basically, the gist of the video was California investors are causing bubbles in other markets. What I want to talk to you about is a subtle dig that this particular creator has about California investors when we invest out of state. I actually think I have experience with what he is. I don't appreciate the dig. It's my backyard, so it makes me feel bad. But I do see what he's talking about. And that is this. California real estate investors, when we go out of state, we generally overpay. We generally do bad deals because we take our California mindset, our California history with prices. We assume California appreciation happens everywhere. We just make a lot of biased, uninformed decisions, and we don't do our homework in these other markets. So the point of his video is California investors are terrible. So I just wanted to see what you had to say about that.
Well, you know what? For someone that doesn't, I invest in different states, which is okay, but you have to do your homework in the state.
Exactly.
Like you have to do your homework because what happens in Cali doesn't happen in the Midwest.
No.
Doesn't happen in Texas. Doesn't happen in Florida. I mean, maybe Florida comparable because it is.
Their cycles. Yeah.
Right, but for the most part, thank you. For the most part, it's you have to know your area.
Yeah.
Because when I bought in Arizona, it's like I had to know what a good value was, what resale value was, where I'm buying it at, and what the return is going to be on the money that's invested.
Yeah.
That goes for everywhere. But you're right. People like, oh my gosh, I can go buy a house for $85,000 in the Midwest or in South Carolina, and it's gonna rent for $1,200 or $1,000. Cool, right? Yeah. But then you think that, oh yeah, in 5 years it's gonna be worth $150,000 or $190,000.
Yeah.
And it's probably worth the same.
Yeah, so I guess there's a couple of things. First and foremost, I have personal experience. When you're in this business long enough, you build a pretty good network. And I know some turnkey providers in the Midwest.
Yeah.
And they have told me not hearsay, told me that when they see an area code like 949, right? 408, 415, they raise the price.
Really?
Yeah. That's nuts. Folks, if you are a California investor and you are not doing your homework, not flying to the city, not learning the market, you will be taken advantage of. We are known to overpay. And some of these folks have told me it's Michael, it's not $5,000. We'll raise it 10, 15 grand on a California investor, which, oh, by the way, it's like 15%, right? Because some of these prices are like 75 grand. And then suddenly a California investor calls it's 90 grand. Because all we see is the picture, right? We see the little craftsman house on a quarter acre, and we're like, oh my God, in my market, that'd be like $1 million. How they think, I know they think this. They're like, how can I go wrong? Well, folks, you can go wrong buying cheap. I have talked to people who lost millions of dollars, or at least $1 million buying cheap. You don't do the homework, you're going to get taken advantage of, right?
100%.
Yeah. So I think there's some truth in that. I think broadly speaking about all Californians being bad investors is a step too far. I know two pretty good real estate investors who live in California. They're actually on this interview right now, you and me, right? Because we do the work, right? We don't just, you didn't roll into Arizona and buy the first house you saw, right? Right. You do the work, you do the rent, you build a team, you network, you treat it like your backyard.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, I mean, even in your own area,
Yeah.
like you're not going to go reinvest in California, in another area, Michael, if you don't do your research. You're going to do your research. Like when you go out of your area, I'm not going to say that's the quickest way to probably have a negative cash flow or a bad investment, but it's the percentage is higher. Why? Because you think that you know your area,
Yeah.
right? Which you do. But then when you start going somewhere else, that's kind of, it opens, the percentages increase for you to fail.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, people ask me all the time, why have you never left your market? Because learning a market is hard. Networking is hard. It takes time. If I were to enter a new market, I would probably have to spend at least 3 months, and I want to say 4, looking at that market every day before I even have an opinion on what a deal is.
Right.
I would not allow myself to make an offer for 4 months, and I would look every goddamn day. And I would probably fly to that market once every 2 or 3 weeks.
That's discipline.
Right? It's just, that's how, don't be that California investor who calls all cocky. I mean, I've heard you all cocky, full of yourself. You got a deep checking account or savings account. Don't be that person who overpays. Don't be that person who relies on Excel to lie to you, right? Excel spreadsheets lie. You can make your Excel spreadsheet say whatever you want. Get off your ass, get on a plane, and go build a network, build a team, do the work.
You know what? And being that you just said that, do the work. If you're gonna go to a different area, find out who the biggest producer is that knows the market. Okay. And as a matter of fact, give them $1,000.
Yeah, something.
And then say, hey, listen, I want you to tell me what's going on. I value your time. Tell me what's up. I want to invest in here. Here, prepay.
Yeah.
Prepay, and guess what? They're going to do everything for you. And I'm telling you this because I just literally thought about that, and it's like, why wouldn't you do that? If you're going to reinvest, $1,000 is $1,000. But if you're going to reinvest to go make 15, 30, 100, 150, 200K, $1,000 ain't shit. That is your marketing.
Yeah.
That is something that you pay. And why wouldn't you, get the professional that's there that knows the market like the back of his hand?
Yeah.
And then have him tell you what's going on.
I mean, think about it this way. I mean, I love that idea. Think about it this way. I don't know where you're flying from and to, but it's probably $1,000 for a trip, right? Flight, hotel, food, gas, all of that. Just prepay it. Pay $1,000. You're going to cut out 2 or 3 trips and save your money. So in the end, this video, which I will do a reaction video to, hopefully today, if not today, tomorrow. I think any investor who invests out of their area that doesn't do the work is a bad investor.
100%.
This person happened to pick on California. I think Californians do have a bias to their backyard, and they think their history and experience applies everywhere. So what I would tell you, if you're a California or New York or Florida investor looking at the Midwest, is go learn your market. Go be disciplined. Go pay $1,000 to network with the top producer. Just don't be that guy or that gal who overpays. It hurts me to realize that so many Californians in this case are being taken advantage of because of our area code. It's kind of crazy.
You said it, man. Be disciplined.
Very cool, man. Well, thank you very much for this conversation. I had to get this off my chest. I look forward to topic number 2, which is, what does a bubble feel like? Thanks, buddy.
Let's go. See ya.